Yes.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to Eureka Springs CAPC Workshop, April 12th, 5 p.m. And when we start, right here at the start, I want to go ahead and introduce two new staff members Scott had hired, Danielle and Caitlin. And so everybody can put a face to a name if you haven't met them. That's Danielle. That's Caitlin. So, welcome, ladies.
Welcome.
We're excited that you're helping Scott. All right. Are we ready to jump in with Paradise and website? Okay.
Jump.
Michael, are you live?
I am live.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well.
You too.
Would you like me to put the website on the screen? Would that be helpful as we address any comments you have?
That would be great.
You got it. Coming right up. Boom. All right. So yeah, we're happy to answer any questions you have. I think overall, we're really excited with the site being up. Obviously, we've been fine-tuning it over the last couple of weeks.
Hey, Michael, hang on just one
Oh,
second.
sure.
Ron, is there any way you can turn that volume up?
Yep. I try to talk louder too.
Okay. Try again, Michael.
Okay, no, yeah, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So like I was saying, we're just very excited with the new site. Obviously, over the last couple of weeks, we've been doing refinements to it. We're equally excited that we have a training session for your internal staff tomorrow on WordPress. And that will allow you guys to make some real-time updates to the site as needed. We will be here for creative support to help you with any sort of like hero creative that you need produced for the site, and then of course site maintenance. But we're really excited for the handover as far as the training. We've also been handing over the passwords and permissions for Instagram and Facebook. So again, you guys will have control to supplement what we're doing on our side with timely posts on your side. So we're really excited to kind of get this transition underway. So I don't know if there was any, I didn't have too much of an agenda other than that there might be some questions about the website, and we're happy to listen and see what you guys have to say.
So I'll, if you don't mind, I'll jump right in. On the partners page,
Absolutely.
where you click on partners and then you click on, and I brought this up before, it doesn't seem to be corrected. When you click on about the CAPC, the words that show up say about the CPAC, which we are not.
Yeah, that is weird. That was corrected. I don't know if maybe when we're doing some updates that got, but we can make that immediately.
Okay.
Probably can even do it in real time for you right now.
And then under.
Ashley's going to do that right while we talk, so it might have just reverted back by accident when we did that.
Okay.
Update.
And then under, at least for me, under commissioners, my name is misspelled and the email is incorrect.
Yeah, see, those were all corrected. I don't know why that happened, because that was a while ago we corrected those. But again, we'll make those in real time as well.
Okay.
That was weird. Sorry about that.
Let's go to. So under events, where it says event calendar, is this something that the staff here can plug in, like all of the music for the remainder of the summer, all that kind of stuff?
Yes. Yep.
And there is also a public form that you can enter the events on the front end, upload all the information, and it goes into the back end of the system for the staff to review and then approve and go live on the website. Very simple and very easy.
And where is this again?
Michael, if you'll scroll down on that partner page that you're on,
Okay.
it should keep going. It should have, keep going, right there, submit an event.
Submit. Got it. Okay.
Okay. And by the way, I've never followed up with Scott and Chris. We had sent over a Word document that gave instructions of how to do that for your partners that we thought might be something nice that you guys might want to put out in a mass email or a newsletter, allowing them really step-by-step instructions of how to upload events or change submissions. So.
At what point is the Paradise Advertising going to relinquish that posting to the CAPC?
The goal is as soon as possible. What my thought is that we'll do the WordPress training tomorrow. We will stay involved with that as long as it takes, within reason, for a couple of weeks to make sure that either Danielle or Caitlin are comfortable doing those updates.
Okay.
And then you guys will basically take that over, and we'll be here, of course, for
Okay.
support or any change that need to be done. Yep, we're excited to get that in your hands because I know that you guys you have lots of updates that come in very quickly, and you guys will be able to make those.
Okay. We're close. We're very close to taking it over. That's why I'm asking the question.
Absolutely, yep. No, we are first training is tomorrow.
Absolutely, and Scott, I'll add to that, if a partner or a community organizer uses this form here, I would always direct them to this form because it makes it super easy to go in the back end. It will only take a little bit of review to make sure all the information is correct and there are photos attached to it. It won't be like the previous website where the staff had to take the information, manually input it in the back end, and then publish it. So it kind of removes that step for you.
I totally agree. It leaves an audit trail for later use or questions if something ever comes up. So that's good. I like that. Okay.
So is there a list of people that can get on there and submit, or is it just anybody can submit?
So it is an open submission form, so it does not go onto the website live. It does require the Paradise team currently and eventually the CAPC staff to go in, look at that, make sure in its appropriate event that all of the information is included, and with the check of a publish button, then it goes live onto the website. But it is open for everyone and anyone to submit an event.
Right, but we wanted to put a safeguard in there, like Ashley said,
Yeah.
because people could have an event you might not want to be part of. So.
Exactly, thank you.
At what point can we begin to change pictures such as the one I'm looking at now? At some point, they become redundant or, been there, done that. And at time, there's time to change pictures for seasonal like that, for example. Is that going to be given to the CAP staff to make that change, or is that going to go through you guys?
You guys can make the change as long as the photo is in the right format and it looks good. What I'm anticipating is that you guys will have like in the list of the Etheridge you want to put on the on this page as a spotlight for ticket sales. You may not work perfectly for you, and we would just take a little money out of the creative bucket that we have to reformat it, make it look nice, retouch it a little bit so it looks really good, and then you guys would be able to put, you guys can put it up and take it down wherever you want to.
I think
so we're here from a creative standpoint to help you make things look great.
Definitely, because whatever I do here, I want it to definitely mesh in with the campaign as we move forward. But I think David made the comment a couple of months ago about the use of banners across the main page. Is that something still available, or are you advising against that?
I advise against it only because we do have that one banner that can come up for emergencies.
Okay.
A tornado or something like that we've had recently. But I think the way we reformatted the pictures, I think this keeps it nice and clean. One of the things we want to be careful with the website is to get it too busy on the homepage.
Okay.
It's very easy to try to put everything in there. Okay. We want to keep the brand really crisp and clean, so we would advise to try to stay with this format as much as we can. Listen, if there's a special circumstance, we can do something different. I mean, I'm almost thinking that as we prepare for 2024 and the eclipse, which is we've got to start thinking about that now, basically. There might be some fun things we can do on the homepage that may be like a plugin, and it may have like some animation with the the clips there. We can do some fun things that as a team we can decide to do, and we can figure out how to best get that done.
So the website that we're looking at, visit eurekasprings.com, is a WordPress document. Is that what we're saying?
That is correct.
Okay.
And actually, I think there's one other piece to it that you can talk to.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so it is utilizing WordPress as the content management system on the back end. We'll review this tomorrow with the staff, but there are multiple different components in the fact that there's a traditional editor, but then for some of these pages that have really complex designs, there's a visual editor as well. So there's kind of a dual layer of ease and difficult sections.
Okay.
But everything can be edited through the credentials on the back end that you and your team will have. The whole website is built on one cohesive CMS.
Thank you.
Any other questions for?
Michael, you guys have a social media plan that's already drawn up for us, correct?
Yeah, we do a monthly calendar for you, and what we'll talk about tomorrow as well is how we can coordinate that best with you guys so we don't have duplication or too much duplication. The goal is that as moving forward, now that you guys have some staff and you guys are more, you get people in seats, we can figure out a plan that here's the plan we have for the month. If there's things that you want to focus on that are more local that you want to be able to put in there, that's fine. Maybe we'll just have a document where you can put that in there, just so we have a master sheet, so we have an understanding of what's going on there, so it doesn't get redundant or go off brand at any point.
Yeah, and I guess by social media plan, I mean, what is appropriate content, what is not,
Yep.
what we can and can't use as far as logos or emojis, all that kind of stuff. I'm assuming that's training that you'll provide to the staff tomorrow?
Tomorrow's going to focus on the website. We can touch on that, but I think we'll have to set up another meeting to go over social media specifically. It'll just take a little bit more time.
Okay.
But absolutely, we have best practices obviously from all our clients of the appropriate use of emojis, because some of them are not appropriate.
Right.
And kind of we can go through kind of the tone and manner and kind of how we structure the post that people can emulate internally on your side, just so there's consistency. Because people,
Yes, and that's what I'm asking. That's why I'm asking, so good.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's important to us. It's very important.
In reviewing the most recent activity through Paradise Monitoring, through Zartico and so on, it appears that Twitter has somewhat of a zero effect on advertisement, but yet when you start looking at short clip videos in the 15 to 20 second range, it's huge difference. And so I really want, in my passion here, I think I want to focus more on short content reels on our Facebook page of local content. I think that would help drive our numbers up, because if you look at the results, it seems like when you have reels and local content, it gets the best response, or it's in the top tier of 3 out of 10 or something like that. So that's what I've kind of recognized with that, you being able to use reels.
Absolutely. No, we see that across the board. If you can use video in your postings for social media, they get the best hits for obvious reasons. It all comes down to content. Social media is a content beast as far as having fresh things to put up. So we're looking forward to working with you guys to figure out how best to facilitate, to capture some additional video content that we can use. Because we only have what we have, and obviously you have to be careful with usage rights. You have to make sure you have permission to use it. So unfortunately, there's a couple steps to go to posting on social media, especially from an organization. Personal, you can get away with a lot more, but as soon as it's coming from an organization, you have to be really careful.
While we're on that tangent, do you guys do much with TikTok?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. Are you doing anything for Eureka Springs? I don't think we've talked about that before.
Yeah, I don't think we have TikTok for you guys right now, but we can talk about that more and figure out where we want to, place that.
I think there's 150 million people on TikTok. Is that right?
Yeah.
In the U.S.
Yeah. A lot of times it comes down to what the efficiency is based on the media spend you have, right? I mean, if you have all the money in the world, you can do everything, but I think we have to always be careful with what we're seeing the best performance with. But that being said, let's talk to Cindy and let's see what she thinks.
And maybe that's something in-house we can work on too, so we don't
absolutely. I mean, that's
take
something
away
you could
from.
Experiment with. Yeah, you could experiment with in-house and see how that goes, and then we can go from there. The challenge with TikTok specifically is that in order to advertise on TikTok, you have to be a verified business, and becoming a verified business is a little challenging. It's not just paying for a check mark. TikTok thinks that you have to jump through a little bit more hoops, but it can be done. So in the future, if we want to do some advertising on TikTok, that's a possibility, but we do have to plan it out a little bit. It's not super easy to do. They're a little bit more, they're more of a closed system than like Facebook, unfortunately.
So on the website, and I alluded to it much earlier, but I knew we were working through other things. Can we start to develop the piece where we can collect leads for weddings and for group business?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? Kind of like how we've got the event capture piece, but we need a lead capturing piece for weddings and.
Yeah, no, actually,
and
we had
for-
talked about that, not sure where we'd left that in the planning.
Yes, we do have one for group events. We do have a contact form on there, so we'll just need to add one for weddings.
Okay. So when you say group events, is that like meetings, like conventions?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, good. And then, obviously, that'll
Here's
funnel
the,
to.
here's the form right here,
admin.
just so you can see it.
Okay.
One of the things I've noticed is you're tracking impressions and clicks based on keywords such as visit and such as the word Eureka. Are there other words that you're using that you're not, are you only using those two keywords? Or can we add a word such as entertainment as and the third word to be used for driving people to the website?
Yeah, I think there's definitely ways we can customize it and try different words. I can talk with the team about that and come back to you guys with a recommendation. Absolutely. Yep.
And Michael, is there, in going through, like I'm looking on the Foodie Adventures stuff, and I know that there are businesses listed that are no longer in business. Is there an easier way for our staff to go in and delete those sites, or is that something that'll be talked about tomorrow?
I believe that's easy, right, Ashley? I mean, if there's a business that needs to be taken down, that can just be a click of a box and it will go away, right?
Yep, exactly. So we can make sure to review that tomorrow.
Good.
So how do we turn over to you guys what we know is closed or no longer here? How do we get that information to you? Or is it something that Scott and the staff will do?
Yeah, won't
Well,
Caitlin
yeah.
be able to do that?
Yeah, the beauty is you, after the training,
Yeah.
you guys will be able to do that. So
Yes.
basically, you know, it'll just take a
That's
step
it.
out of the process of giving it to us. You guys will just be able to do it on the fly. And again, just so you guys, just to remind everyone, you know, we didn't do a purge of all the listings. when we
Right.
made the site. Our mandate was just to bring over everything from the old site. So there's absolutely going to be places that are closed, but this will be very easy for you guys to update in real time.
Okay, good.
Good deal.
And so in the marketing plan for CAPC and, you know, our social media ad campaigns, have you guys established what the voice of Eureka Springs is? What is our
Yeah,
tone?
we have a brand
What is our
document. Yeah,
demeanor?
we have a brand document that talks about the voice, and we could find time to share that with you guys, because obviously there's some new people.
Yeah.
And kind of take you through what that voice is.
Okay, that'd be good.
And the way we do it now, and again, this will be training that will ongoing with you guys, is that our side is very familiar with the tone, obviously, because they've been doing it for a while. And you can probably kind of extrapolate some of it from the posts that we do to see what that tone is. But we'll absolutely bring that tone into a discussion with your people, so that they have that cheat sheet in the back of their mind as how we want to promote the brand consistently through all channels of communication, whether it's a newsletter, whether it's a post on the website, whether it's a social media post, anything like that.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, I brought this up to Chris earlier, is that we now have this new website, and people don't yet know how to use it or where to go. I've been trying to field those questions on my personal Facebook page, because that's where all the messages are coming in.
Yeah.
Is there something we can do as far as an announcement on Facebook to let people know?
I think we should let Caitlin scrub a bunch of like the businesses that are out, maybe in the next week or so, then hit it hard. Or
Okay, that's fine, as long
Or
as,
maybe even
as long as our
just-
stakeholders know where to go to add current pictures, and, you know, like there's some wedding stuff in here that they no longer provide weddings.
So Scott made an announcement at the chamber deal, but we need to send out a email blast. You should send out an email blast to all the stakeholders, and then and I see Caitlin taking notes.
Okay.
So that's good.
Yeah, 'cause
And then
that'd be
She
great.
could go ahead and just post that it's live, and she needs, the same thing he had announced the other day, that she just needs people to contact her to help her scrub
Yeah.
their listings.
Caitlin, I would give them like very specific instructions from Michael, you know, on how to follow adding your event or adding your restaurant, what the pictures should look like, that they need to be clear and not blurry, that kind of stuff. Because like one of the things, Scott, on the music in the park, that picture was like really, really blurry.
Well, that's on this paper, 20-pound paper.
No, I'm
probably.
talking about the post that we did in the auditorium, on the auditorium's Facebook page. It says Music in the Park series, and it's got Basin Park, and the picture's just really blurry and not a fantastic picture, but that's an easy fix. I'm sure there are tons of pictures out there of Basin Park. Yes. Yes. Say that again.
Oh, I didn't say anything if you're talking to me.
Okay. So yeah, and when I talk about like branding and the image that we want to push out there consistently and persistently are things where the photo is not a blurry photo. So if we have a good one, we should probably substitute it. And yeah,
Absolutely. And by the way, that's one of the things we can put in, and Caitlin, we can work together on this. We can put in the instruction document that can be sent out as an email or a newsletter, or whatever, however you guys want to communicate it. What's the best way to provide the photos? For social media, portrait mode is usually going to be your best option, right? So you have a nice, especially for Instagram and stuff like that. That's all portrait photography. So you want to have those type of images. What kind of resolution you're looking at? Again, for the website, the beauty is that if somebody puts a submission and attaches a photo and it's a blurry photo, it doesn't automatically go up. So you could go back to them and say, thank you so much, but this photo doesn't really work. Do you have something with better quality? And then the same thing when you get submissions that you ultimately can put on Facebook. Hopefully they meet the criteria so that everything is crisp and sharp and looks beautiful.
right. Good. Yeah, because I know most of the questions I'm getting are like, how do I change my information? And I've been leading them in the right direction, but it'd be best if we did an email blast with step-by-step instructions so that they know how to do it and how to delete or add or whatever.
Yeah, I think for the most part, it's going to be best to communicate to them that if they want to change something in their listing, just to resubmit their listing. Because it will probably be easier from the back-end standpoint just to be, because I'm sure they've got new language they want to use about their hotel or something like that. Or you can take them as one-offs, that's fine as well. But it's a good opportunity to really give them the opportunity to think about their listing, update it, so they have the best information possible on their listing. Yeah. But if they absolutely love it and they just want to change the picture, you can do that too. It's fine. Okay. But yeah, I would love to start changing these pictures. I think that we've seen, or at least I've heard, that when we're promoting the odd, whatever you guys are doing in social media and stuff we're doing, we're selling tickets. So there's no reason why we couldn't have this homepage image, one of them, to be a featured upcoming event. And it doesn't have to be up there forever. We can just put it up there for like a week and then take it down. We don't want to be obnoxious about it. But it's a good opportunity. I think of this as the billboard of Eureka Springs, right? And this is the first thing you're going to see when you go to the website. So let's use it to get people to come and attend a specific event. I think we'll see great results with that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's one thing I like about the site is that it does allow for a lot of things to be featured. We have a featured place here. We can feature something here. We got features here. It really is a rich site as far as you can find listings, but you can also be pushed to do something, which is nice.
It might be a good idea to have our biggest, 4 or 5 upcoming events rotating.
Yep, I like that.
Because I noticed, just clicking on events now, there are a whole lot more than there were. So people are, I don't know if the office is entering this information or they're just submissions.
All the content's coming out of my office.
Because it's looking, it's filling up, which looks good.
Yeah, no, right now everyone's, the information is being forwarded to us and we're just updating as quickly as we can. And that will continue, but you'll just be able to do it on your side. So
but I will say a few people have used the form, so the word's definitely getting out there, and business owners and event organizers are submitting through that form, so that's great.
Good. Because we've got Mayfest, the Festival of the Arts coming up. That's the whole month. Mm-hmm. So that's worth pushing on the billboard front page.
That's in here, right?
But I'm just saying we're talking about the front page, and he's talking about using it to advertise things. Those type things to me, the biggest ones that have the most impact especially if they're covering a larger amount of time.
It should have its own tab, I think.
I don't know about tab, but I'm just saying they're rotating when people land
Yeah.
on the homepage. It's
Yeah,
a thought.
I think you're right. I think let's use this billboard to sell tickets to events, amongst other things, to your
Yeah.
point. Let's keep it in a rotation. We don't want to be obnoxious about it, but we want to make sure it's front and center with other things for people that are maybe not interested in the event, just interested in Eureka Springs in general, so. Yeah.
So this training tomorrow, Scott, is that open for any of us that want to attend as well?
It's going, I'm not really certain about the logistics of it. It's going to be a Zoom meeting,
Okay.
and they're going to dial in, and I'm sure all three of us are going to be sitting there listening and taking notes and going through the process, and that's my knowledge of it right now.
I mean, I can certainly publish a Zoom link, and if you'd like other people to join, they can. I mean, I can do that as well. That's easy.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to, just for general information. I don't know if
Sure.
anyone else wants to, but
It's going to be at, let me tell you what time it's going to be at.
I believe it's 4 Central.
okay.
Actually, it's 4 Eastern, 3 Central.
Okay, 3.
Yeah, 3 Central, sorry. But yeah, I can update account, I'll do a Zoom, since I know not everyone does Google, so I'll do a Zoom, and then you guys can Zoom in. Well, I mean, all that being said, I think you guys have a really robust site now. And I know there's some listing things we gotta take care of and all that type of stuff, but we are very excited that we have a platform to really promote Eureka Springs. And obviously, the biggest challenge we have going forward is gonna be content. And that's gonna be photos, and that's why, we've already talked about this, but that's why it's so important that, like, when you guys book something from a promoter, that we get that, that you guys get that media kit as soon as possible. Get it over to us so we can see creatively if we can help you format the pictures and do that, and then be able to get those up. Sometimes you guys will be able to do it yourself, there'll be no need to us to do any creative work, but then there'll be sometimes, I just know there'll be sometimes you're gonna need a little help.
Right.
Which is, yeah.
Agree.
Yep.
Well, Michael, it's looking really good. I like it.
Excellent, okay, good. I mean, guys, thank you for everyone's help with this. I mean, I know obviously there was a transition, but the fact that we were able to get this up, we're just really happy with it, and thank you guys all. And I look forward to working with Danielle and Caitlin, and we'll have a great training tomorrow. And then, of course, we're never far away. So if things come up as they're doing it themselves, we're always just a phone call or email away. So.
Thank you, Michael. You've done a good job, and I appreciate all of your help from your staff and yourself. Even the 12 o'clock at night emails I send you.
Well, that's not a problem. I work 24/7, but you know I am.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, we'll log off if there's nothing else, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, have a great night, guys.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on the website?
So when we have the ability, I really like to see like the Southern Living, article about us, and a couple other articles that come out about Eureka Springs recently in some national magazines. I mean, I think we really should be selling that hard. That makes us different from a lot of places. Let's say one of the top 10 small towns in America and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not putting it on this website. I'm just saying I just want to remind us, let's really hit that as a point for people when they look, Eureka Springs, Hot Springs, and all these other places. Like, what stops them at Eureka Springs and said, this town is definitely different, and stuff. And being recognized by these magazines is, I think, a lot of people's almost like a big Yelp review for a lot of people to say, oh,
Yeah.
the Southern Living magazine says they're so great, I want to go there.
Yeah.
I don't think those were shared on Facebook, were they? They should be, now that we can.
I don't think they were. Only the one that was the most recent one
Okay.
from, But you are right, that's a good.
Yeah, I've got 3 of them saved in my phone. I can send those to you. Just recently, I mean, that's just recent stuff, so.
Anything else about the website?
Looking good,
Getting there.
getting there.
I have a feeling Caitlin's going to be very busy for a while.
So what is Caitlin and Danielle's job description titles or whatever?
So, yeah.
Marketing,
I'm in the office coordinator. I'm a tag team right now, getting access to all the social media, trying to organize how and what to file corrections.
okay, great, thank you. How many other positions are now still open, Scott?
You have the marketing specialist position.
What? Isn't it a marketing manager? Is that the
Marketing
title?
Director, I don't have.
Or
it
director,
looked at.
director, or manager?
I don't have the files with me. Auditorium director, tourism director.
And we have we'll do interviews on the 19th with the hiring committee,
I think that's the only ones.
next Wednesday.
So marketing director and tourism director is only 2 that's left.
Didn't we have the auditorium director position? Did you say that? Yeah, there's 3 positions.
Auditorium, marketing, and the CAPC director.
Okay. Yeah, we have our hiring committee Wednesday the 19th at 1 o'clock here, right?
I think,
That's right.
yeah. It'll be Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
He's roasting coffee.
Probably
now.
here.
Probably here, okay.
Most likely, but
Has to be open to the public,
Want
doesn't
my
it?
coffee, Jerry?
it does,
Want my
yeah.
coffee?
And then, I mean, we may have to interview individually in executive session.
I don't know how that works with, I mean, on
Just
interview-
like when we invited Scott into executive session to interview him.
Are you saying interview in a public forum?
I don't think we should interview publicly.
I don't think we can.
Yeah, that's, the plan was to do executive session. So to start the meeting publicly, because it's 2 commissioners, and then to go into executive session. And I'm going to revisit it with the mayor's office to try to just make sure we got all our ducks in a row on that. I was almost thinking maybe it'd be better to do it somewhere like that has meeting rooms. Have like, I don't know, but
Okay.
still looking at that. I'll figure it out tomorrow.
I'd like at some point to review all the applicants. I know
Yeah.
you're screening them, but
Yep.
just to,
Yeah.
you don't want to take all that on yourself to say,
No.
if it comes back to say, oh, so, no, Chris, hey,
Yeah.
he didn't bring this one up. It's like,
Yeah.
I can validate all that stuff for you, so.
Yep. Currently, there's 3 that I chose.
3.
And then that was the plan, to share each of those resumes. I could send those to you early.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody you rejected, I'd like to see that too, just.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, so you're talking-
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, if you want to, you know, we can
Okay.
add people.
I'm not questioning you, I'm just,
I think-
I just want to validate everything, make
Right.
sure we open and clear everything. Because hiring,
Mm-hmm.
someone down the road go, I have my application, and Chris didn't even, just threw it in the trash, or something
Yeah.
like that. It's like, no, it's
Yeah.
all above board.
They pretty much all went through Jerry,
Okay.
through HR, and then,
Jerry,
which there's, anyway, probably shouldn't say much.
I've never.
It's been an interesting process.
I've been on a commission that hired people, so I've been, with the police department, I hired people as a supervisor, but I've never been on a commission. It makes it open, public,
It's a little
private, executive session, it gets all very strange, so. We don't want to violate anybody's confidence, but we
Privacy.
also want to be transparent as we
Yeah.
need to be.
Interviewing them publicly would be very difficult
Yeah.
because I mean, if you're critical of, I mean, it's kind of,
Right.
and it's a privacy issue.
Yeah.
So I guess since these positions have been, one of these positions has been open for a while, do we know that people are still interested?
We just received another application yesterday or Monday. There was, several came in last week,
For,
for tourism director.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, our hiring committee next week is just executive director.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all,
And then it'll
that's
make a
all we hire
recommendation
for.
to the
The rest of it
commission.
is up to Scott, so.
So bylaws?
I don't know.
I've brought this up a couple of times.
I would like to see something in our bylaws.
What now?
I would like to see something in our bylaws related to attendance of commissioners,
Yeah.
not just missing consecutive meetings, but a certain number of meetings throughout the year.
So,
Because we ran into this at our last meeting where we had, we almost didn't have quorum.
so the process that's in this, and that's what I did, was I submitted amendments that I just thought of at the last meeting. So then, hopefully, this next meeting, we can vote on the bylaws themselves.
Okay.
And then, considering the amendments I proposed, and they can, obviously pass or be rejected, but then bring, just write up your amendment, and we'll propose it. And so it says propose at one meeting, so then everyone can consider for the next meeting to be voted on.
So these are additional amendments you want to add to the
Yeah, I thought there was
bylaws?
lacking as far as some of the purchasing stuff, purchasing controls. And I probably want to add another one for
So these-
purchasing too.
Just clarification, these aren't modifications, these are new ones you want added.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in here really. I mean, it's pretty, this is supposedly what they approved, but it's not posted on our website.
Okay.
I mean, we might be able to go back and watch meetings and figure out if it was voted on, but there's not a signed copy anywhere. And so the thought was we need to
I went into the city website recently, and when I looked on their HDC, Cemetery Commission, Hospital, CAPC was blank. I mean, it was like unavailable.
for what?
All the information usually lists what the commission is, who's in the commission.
Was that on the old website?
I just looked on the current city website,
Oh.
City of Eureka Springs.
Well, that website was actually down today, so I don't even
Yeah.
know if it's working.
Yeah.
Right.
And, like with the Historic District Commission, they list the commissioners and then their dates of their commission. Is it in our bylaws how long our commission, I know with David and I were appointed by the city council,
Each year.
but Chris, you and Mark and Jeff,
There's a term
is a term?
It's
How
a
long is a
term.
term?
of,
I can check with Kim.
yeah, Kim knows.
Could you also check to see when each seat expires? Because
They're on a schedule.
Yeah.
So I came in, Carol said expired. I came in on her, so I've got a full term.
Okay.
And,
January when I started.
yeah, but I don't know who
Oh.
yeah.
Right. We just
That
don't,
should be.
we just want to make sure we're
Yeah.
renewing when it comes up and stuff like that.
When the renewal date is.
Yeah,
That's something I'm going to add. I made a note to add this information to the website.
good.
But we'll need to put our bylaws on there. We need to put, and start posting each link to the meetings again and the
The minutes
budget.
and-
All that stuff needs to be out there.
Minutes, agendas. Because people need to be able to look on there and say, oh, this next meeting, I want to go down and talk about that, and stuff.
Agenda, okay. I'll try to get that done quicker, so that way it can be posted at least, how far in advance you want?
I don't know, at least a week, I guess.
A week? How about 2 days? Because things come up as we're. Yeah.
2 days, fine.
Okay, I'll shoot for 2 days. This world's changing, man.
Just put a little note at the bottom, may change.
I like, that's a good idea.
Yeah. But also, this is a different subject. I think one meeting a month is not enough. I think our workshop's great, but I really think we should have a workshop followed by a meeting. Because there's decisions we need to be making as these changes are happening. It seems like once a month is really sparse. I mean, we just add a few minutes on to our workshop, at 5 o'clock, meeting at 6.
I'm going to disagree.
Okay.
Because there's too many meetings. And so.
Because the workshop, we can't decide anything.
But do we want to be micromanagers, or do we want to let it? Because now, you might consider that when you hire someone, how do you like to be managed?
No,
And
I don't
if we're
want,
micromanaging
I hate
people-
micromanagers. But I also don't want to wait 3 weeks for the commission to meet to make a vote on something that needs to be voted on.
There's some commissions that are moving to quarterly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
But most do monthly. I think once we have.
I think once we're set, but I think right now, I think it's,
Yeah.
we've
Well,
already
we've
had
been-
two
we've been
we've already
having
had
a
two
meeting
emergency meetings. So
Like
it's
every week, yeah. I mean, I just don't want it to be
I don't want to
become
overdo it, but
a precedent.
I've never seen a commission have an open workshop and just talk about stuff. Nothing's decided or voted on.
Because then at the meeting, it's harder to have discussion because you're following Robert's Rules of Order, and you have, here is to discuss what we're just discussing, like,
Right.
versus
More
just,
openly.
I'm going to make a motion,
I know.
and then, and have a little discussion
Can we put it on the agenda for next meeting, at least talk about it?
about, yeah.
Can you do that? Put on, to increase our meetings.
I think
to
Mark
twice-
wants it at 3
twice a
o'clock.
month.
He wants a meeting every week at 3 o'clock.
He keeps bugging me.
All right. I get it.
So you want us to review these bylaws, and then we'll vote on them at the next meeting? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I asked like 2 meetings ago, and then you guys asked more time at the last meeting to review them. Yes, please.
Okay. Just want to make it clear.
Yeah. We need something up there. This is pretty, I mean, and when we vote, we could strike some language, if you don't like it. It seemed pretty, a chunk of it basically comes from the law, from the ordinances, and then the articles of organization. So that's the law, So it's pretty generic. And then, but we can create our own rules, and that's where I think we need more controls, especially in purchasing, I think. And things for conflicts of interest. Because that's, people have been concerned or distrustful, and so we want to make sure we are as transparent and ethical as possible.
Cool.
What else was on the agenda?
Band shell.
Oh, the band shell. So did you get more information?
About 1 year ago this month, McClendon Engineering submitted to Parks and Recs their 3-page documentation stating what their cost would be to conduct the research and develop a plan to go out to bid to prepare the park for renovations.
So to develop an engineering
The cost for the study at that
Study
time was $40,000.
and probably architectural renderings,
Right.
all of that, okay?
Topography, all of, the entire plan. Now, I talked to Sam a couple
How
of
much
times.
was it?
40,000.
40? Okay.
So it never got off that, it never got past the 3-page documentation, and I don't understand why, but that's where they're at. That's where we're at on the rehab of the park.
So back in December, maybe, something like that, Terry McClung made a motion to, I want to say 200,000, to commit 200,000 to the band shell. And there was some support, but worry that it was just giving money to parks and wanted control of that process. And so it didn't pass. But so I had asked Scott to visit with parks and see, well, where are they at, and what kind of documentation can we get for if we're ever going to seriously consider it. So, and maybe we're not. I don't know.
So,
Do you want these signed?
The band shell is in dire need of repair. Yeah.
but what's the conflict between CPC and parks?
There's no conflict. We're the ones with the money.
Right.
And so it's like, if this is something we want to do, it sounds like it's going to cost us $40,000. So,
That's just a study, right?
well, it's not just a study. My understanding is that's the plan's everything. That's the starting point of, right.
Okay.
Because they got to do the engineering, all of it. So, I mean, if it was like poker, you got a big, you're in at that point.
Right.
So why did it fail at the meeting?
Because we didn't even know that. That was my concern. I said, I don't, the motion was to give parks 200,000. And it was like, well, hold on, let's find out more. And so I was just following up and asked Scott to follow up. I had read somewhere that they had done a study, but they just evidently looked at what it's going to take to start the
Well,
process.
they didn't have $40,000.
Yeah.
That's what it
Okay.
came down to, and it stopped. So I don't think that information was shared with anyone, because I wasn't aware of it, and I've not heard anything about it. I've asked the former director, like, where are we at on the analysis and the cost, and I never could get an answer. So Sam sent me the 3-page document which explained their offer for $40,000 to conduct the research and come up with a cost and do the survey and all of the engineering and to get it ready to go to bid. But we don't know the cost of the total rehab. We don't know.
So that $40,000 is just for a survey?
Yes.
Essentially.
Just to get them to start.
So I wonder if we're interested in doing it, I mean, we have to vote on it and all that, but I wonder if we could solicit 2 other bids of engineering firms.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to cost money to find out how much it's
Right.
going to cost to fix it,
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't it? But that's an iconic piece of downtown
Right.
that someone needs to fix, and we're probably the only ones that can do it.
Yeah.
We've got the money. There's
I agree.
a lot of money parked in savings, and so we're not really here to just save money,
It's definitely an investment in the town.
Yeah. So I brought that, I wanted to bring that up. I mean, there's other things that people have talked about, the firehouse, we kind of started to talk about that. There's a big question of if they can move that fire truck out of there. And so the thought process before was a welcome center in meeting space. That one was not very expensive. 120 million or
Hey,
something.
whose responsibility is that
If the
bench
fire
in the
truck's going
park?
to stay in there, then
That's what I
There's
told
no room.
So what's the,
People asked me about that, and I was like, well, that's Parks and Recreation.
what's the benefit of having the contract with the historical museum doing what they're doing as opposed to a visitor center?
So,
Actually, wow,
well,
this is-
offices, so, you know, you've got pretty cramped offices here. They have the curb appeal on the street. You'd increase the beautification of
Well, no, I
downtown.
guess what I'm asking is, will the Historical Museum, because from what I understand, they are
Yeah,
doing
okay.
Yeah.
visitor information kind of stuff, right?
Right. No, I mean,
So
that
that
doesn't
could-
have to change. But,
So we would have two.
well, you could have offices, you could have, the plan was that I think Butch had drawn was like meeting space in there. So you could have meetings,
You
the
guys don't
council
use much
meetings.
gas around here.
These meetings. You could have, it'd be easier, might be easier to sell
It makes
tickets
a
for the
big, I do
auditorium.
that at home.
Because
It's a huge
this
difference.
storefront's pretty, I had no idea that this was what this was for a year.
It's probably wheelchair accessible too.
When
since
this
it's ground
company
level.
in that house,
Yeah.
they shut down.
It could be a real
everything.
positive
I stay-
piece
I-
for
I
the
leave
city.
on
It's
just
not
one
really,
end.
but-
You have,
No, I agree.
cuts it down.
But you could invite the historical society in there to have a section, you know, a spot. You could do whatever.
Okay.
I think it would be something to discuss, to have a place for the Chamber of Commerce to have a spot in there, and maybe rent from us and draw the legal documents up so there's no commingling of funds, but that would give them a great presence, and we could really work together on the tourism aspect of it, because they bring a lot in, and so do we, so it's all there in one unit. So, something to think about.
Yeah.
I thought, someone told me, people talked about doing that before, but the fire engine could not be moved.
Well, that's what the mayor's looking at.
Yeah, because
It may affect
if they move it,
insurance
then they have to have a fire station in downtown, or they lose some kind of certification or something, federal certification. So if you can't move the engine,
We probably shouldn't move it so the building doesn't fall down.
yeah,
It's probably
I'm not
propping
gonna,
something
I'm not
up.
gonna move
I
it.
think they used it in a
So
parade.
that was another project. I don't know what other, I haven't been on very long.
We
But,
still need
you
to
know,
move some money
There's other
over.
things we could do, huh?
We still need to move some money over to, when people ask for money for advertising and stuff,
Yeah.
we kind of bottomed out, didn't we, on our,
Well,
Well,
there's something
go
we
ahead.
need to talk about, or to think about. There's only $2,000 left in the line
That's what he's
item.
saying.
right.
And I have about $18,000 in requests that's going to come to you at our next meeting. So I think that you have the ability to approve those requests at the same time saying, Scott, you need to move money from this line item to this line item in order to fund it. But that's your decision.
I think we put it on the agenda first to
Yeah.
move the
Okay.
money, and then we listen
So-
to
Okay,
requests.
but that, y'all can work that part.
Did I hear you correctly? There's
I
18,000
think there is.
in funding requests?
An additional request.
And there's only two in the account.
Pardon me?
And there's only 2,000 in the account?
Correct.
We didn't put much money in there, and, you know, when I brought that up, the other people just said, well, we can move money, it's not, we got plenty of money, it's not a problem. Which I've seen that in the other commissions too.
Yeah.
We always still would make decisions to fund or not to fund
And
regardless.
I know at one point, the commission, I was not on it, had discussed doing these funding rounds like 3 or 4 times a year, not every single meeting.
Yeah, and we talked about that, and I thought that's kind of what we were headed towards, but we've had a lot of change. And I think there's just been an effort by all of us to create some harmony in town.
Yeah.
I think
And I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I think we absolutely should do
Yeah.
that.
Well, I think we all had agreed before that we'd like to get to that point where they're submitted more quarterly, like 3 times a year, 4
Right.
times a year.
Yeah, I agree with that totally.
How many organizations for 18,000?
3. You have my memory is Eureka Springs Historical Museum for the Witches in the Park, or Witches in, something to do with that. And then they had another request for something similar to events in that time of year that's very popular. Well, I say popular, it's been funded for a year. Maybe the Voices of Eureka or something like that. And then there was another request, and that one's just not coming to my mind, but it was around 18,000.
For for just 3?
Three or four, but the 18,000 is what's in my mind as to
Okay.
what they're going to come ask for.
Our limit is 5,000,
Right.
Right.
so it has to be either 4 with one
Someone asked,
3,000.
one of them was asking for less than 5. I know. I
So it's
remember
4
that.
probably, but one asked for less than 5. I would like to see that at the beginning of the year, we determine how much money we can do this with.
Yeah.
And put it in the budget, and maybe do have that timeline.
Yeah.
So people know, if you want it, get your name in there, your application in there, and then when the money's gone, so.
Well, the reality is you'll have someone come with a new idea and a big, and you may change your mind.
Yeah.
You may not. You may.
Randy, they're
Yeah,
coming back
we'll see.
asking $15,000.
But it seems like, okay, we'll just, whoever shows up is asking for money.
Right.
There's no
Okay.
structure to
We
it.
did say no to him.
Well,
Okay.
Don't have the money in the
Okay.
budget.
Supposedly, we only fund things for 2 to
Okay.
3 years, and then
Well,
they're supposed to. I mean, that's what I
They're not
understood
here
was kind
overnight,
of
right?
the will was that
Seed money.
they're supposed to start. A successful event should be able to fund itself at a certain point.
Right.
But there's some things that are. This town's pretty different, Some things are pretty big that really impact the whole town and stuff, and so that's. It's not a cut and dry decision.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I feel about it.
I just don't know, I mean, if this is a day tripper thing, I just don't know.
So,
You know?
do we want to? I mean, we're not making any decisions, but I think it'd be okay for Scott to get other bids on the engineering of the band shell to just, if we can get an idea of what maybe other engineering firms, any interest in that?
Do we even know, were they the only people that submitted?
That, if I told you an answer, I would know
Yeah.
what I was talking. All that came from Parks, and that was generated from Parks and Recs.
I think regardless, you should have 3 bids.
Yeah, oh, I agree.
Unless you just can't find 3 people.
Yeah.
Well, I
And that
think
may
they
be
were
the
listed
issue.
on state contract. So if they're listed on state contract, the bid formality's already been done by the state. So we just used them with the legality bid part already having been conducted by the state, so.
Okay, so what does that mean? Why, so, what is it, Clinton?
McClendon Engineering.
This is McClinton, okay. So, who's another one? CEI is over in Bentonville,
I would have to go to the state contract and look under,
But it has to be someone under the state contract?
either that or you bid it out.
Right.
And if
No,
we
that's
bid-
what we're saying.
So we use a state contract, we don't have to bid it out?
The state did that for us, and so we're able, as a public entity, to use that as,
So they vetted them, say this is a legit contractor.
Correct.
Insured and all that stuff.
yes.
But I mean, if we were going to get something,
But we might
Bids,
find someone that
yeah.
will do it for 20 grand.
it seemed like we'd still want to do 3 bids, just
Yeah.
to say.
I agree. I think you need
competitively
more
say,
bids.
I can do it cheaper.
Right.
Or something.
I think we should get a couple more bids. It's bids, at least we have some more information.
We'll just have to, I don't know if the agenda is ready for the next regular meeting, but we can add it to that.
Yeah.
You need Parks and Recs here.
Oh, you
This
won't,
is
you
commission
probably won't
information.
have the bids by then, I don't think.
No, I'm not saying have the bids, but
Oh.
at least put the motion out there to vote on the 3.
Well, he can get them, we don't have to. We're not spending any money or doing anything.
What you need to do is advertise for a request for proposal, an RFP. and
We can do a motion if
That's what I
that
would,
makes you
that's
feel
what I
better,
would do
though.
first,
It doesn't matter to me.
and see who responds.
I'll put it on the agenda if you guys
Yeah.
are fine with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it should be. Then, let's see, are we moving on?
Mhm.
But
Those were the 3 things I had on the agenda. I don't think you passed out the agenda, but
I didn't get a chance.
Yeah.
what else? What other?
I just,
Taking your word
Scott,
for
I
it.
have the thing that you gave to us, and Has this gone to print yet?
No.
Okay, because there's a lot of misspelled words, and some of the names of the bands are wrong. I'm looking like at May 20th, it's Shiloh Molina and the Honky Tonk Flame. It's not plural.
That's the way it came into me, so that's how I left
Yeah,
it.
because I know I've hired them numerous times, and it's Flame, it's not Flames.
You want me to reach out to them and, or just?
I would reach
correct
out to Shyla, since she's the leader of that band. Shyla Molina.
it? What else do you see, Ron?
June 24th, it's 96 miles, not 96 mile.
Okay.
And then June 24th, Parade is misspelled.
Yeah, I see that.
And then July 1,
Proj is fun.
Honky Tonk Flame Band. I'm not aware that there's a separate one other than Shiloh Molina and the Honky Tonk Flame.
I'll have to check on that.
Because they get very picky when their band name is not listed correctly.
But you can't look them up on the website.
Say again?
You can't look them up if
That's
you,
right.
you don't have it spelled right, so.
Right. Let's see here.
Were you an English major in college?
Oh, not at all.
I'm glad you're my spell check. You're doing good.
Well, it's like I said, always good to have 2, if not 3 sets of eyes on everything.
I agree with
so.
that.
I'm bad at it. I have to have spell check. I'm bad at it.
Lately, my hand and my eyes are seeing 2 different things. I worked 87 hours last week, and so sometimes right now my eyes and my hands are not working in tandem.
Yeah, that's
Is that the
it.
right word? So I appreciate this. This helps me.
And there's also, on July 2nd, fireworks at Lake Leatherwood. Is there a start time for that?
Dark. And that's, he's asking fireworks. What time does the fireworks start?
Ben starts at 5. Ben starts at 5, the fireworks at 9:15.
So I would put 5 p.m. under fireworks at Lake Leatherwood, right? Okay.
Sorry, it's pretty much.
I don't think go right ahead.
I wouldn't know.
I do like that.
I thought it was pretty much pretty. That threw me off as a G instead of an
See, I never noticed that till you pointed it out.
I'm looking at the graphics. I guess I need to pay more.
What else we got?
Spelling.
That's all I see for now.
I'd still like
That's right, he has got it.
I'd still like a breakdown of the training we went to in El Dorado, the cost and all that stuff. Has everybody turned in their mileage requests?
I'm not going to turn it in. I don't really-
You're the only one's turned one in.
Really?
I didn't turn in my mileage either.
Why?
I
I didn't even turn in the.
I didn't turn in the
Okay.
food. Yeah.
It's not good.
Well, the food was almost all provided by the,
Oh, I went and ate other places.
okay. I still like a breakdown, how much did we spend on the total
Okay.
conference? So we'll decide next time. You said you're going to go to the municipal league training.
Yes.
You're going to pay for it yourself, or you want?
From what I understand, the only one that the city pays for is the winter conference.
Okay. That's a big one. It's
So
total,
I just have to clarify that with Kim.
Okay. All right.
Anything else? I'm proud of you guys. This is like our shortest meeting.
Oh, almost.
When is the website?
I'm just kidding.
Go live? When they
So
go
is Scott
live?
going to put out an
The
email
website.
blast to all of our
Is it already going
stakeholders and
on?
businesses?
Is it? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Caitlin wrote that down.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Better content.
Right on.
I believe in short meetings.
I need,
See y'all in
I need someone to sign checks.
next week.
2 weeks at 6, right? 2 weeks at 6 o'clock, right?
Yeah. 2 weeks at 6.
Okay. Thanks for the coffee.
Sign away, there's a couple of minutes.